So you were the publicist for Muhammad Ali.
Yes, I did the through Murad Muhammad, did the Muhammad Ali coin and the Muhammad Ali Cologne.
What year was this?
I would say about, I went to the post in 84, so I'd say about 80, 81.
As a publicist, how did you handle such a dynamic character?
Well, you know, he was a character. I say champ, he said, you calling me tramp? I said, champ, tramp. He was a very nice guy and, you know, very down to earth and easygoing. I mean, he was incredible. And it was hard to fathom such an iconic figure, you know, that could go anywhere in the world, you know, and to be such a very nice guy. He truly was.
Did you have to help prep him for interviews, or was he ready to go? Or
he didn't really do a lot of interviews back then. We just kind of, you know, did the press for this stuff, and he'd be at the press conference for each of those entities and not really say a whole lot. He had already kind of shut down with, you know, a lot of the talking that we saw early in life with him, or, you know, you probably saw in old videos and interviews. He had quieted down somewhat. I remember one time we went to his house with Larry Holmes, you know, because I also worked for him. And we were out in LA, and this guy Booker, they took us by his house. And he was just so natural and everything, even at his house.
Hmm. So he acted like the champ that the world
Yeah, he
knows?
was doing magic tricks.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing the magic tricks with the handkerchief and all that at his house. Mm-hmm.
So before interviews, this might be a dumb question, but did he ever get nervous?
Who, Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
He didn't seem to be. I mean, I'm telling you, he didn't do, I don't remember him doing a lot of interviews. It was just we had to move him from point A to point B. Like one time I gave this still talk about this pizza party. That's all I had a budget for was pizza. It's when Larry Holmes fought Scott Frank in Atlantic City. The way the casino said I could have the free pizza party was I had to deliver Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, even though Larry Holmes was the one fighting. And for so long we couldn't find Ali. And then he finally showed up. I was like, oh, because I don't want them to shut the party down. And they're already talking about me and I'm serving pizza because it was half the fight. They already dogging me out. So, but yeah, it was more moving him from point A to point B rather than him, you know, talking and giving interviews at that point.
At this time in the early 80s, was his religion still playing a factor?
Oh yeah, that was another problem. He was always praying. I'd be going to look for him and he was praying. It's like going to the mart on 116th Street. I'm trying to buy a purse and these people are praying. I'm serious. This tailor, I had this tailor make Mike some pants. I called him, he said, you gotta come after 3 because I gotta pray. And I think it's wonderful. But I'm just saying, that's how the champ was, Ali. He was his religion was very, very much a part of his life. I witnessed it firsthand, prayer and all.
How was the cologne? What did the Muhammad Ali cologne smell like?
Well, the bottle was hot. It had him on and the ad in a pink jacket and suit. It smelled pretty good. And someone recently asked me, they said, do you still have any? I said, yeah, that was like in 1981. No, I don't have any. So, but yeah, it was nice. And the gold coin was a commemorative coin.
Oh, okay. The champ had a commemorative coin.
Uh-huh, yes.
Was he still fighting? Well, he was still fighting at that time. Did you help do any publicity for his fights?
When I worked for him, I was pretty sure he was retired. When did he retire?
I want to say 83, 84.
So this had to be right then in 83 because I don't believe he was in any shape to fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you work with Muhammad Ali?
My whole little boxing career was from 80 to 84. So it would be within that time period, you know, for probably about a couple of years or so because we really milked the Muhammad Ali cologne. And the cologne, I tell you though, was 1989. That came much later.
The cologne?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you worked with him?
Yeah, because I had an ad for it on my magazine.
Mm. Is it defunct now, or is it?
Yeah, I haven't seen it since then.
Nobody
No.
Muhammad Ali
No Muhammad Ali cologne anymore.
Did it have the slogan on it, "Float like a butterfly"?
No, it was just a really pretty bottle, and it was very nice. And the coin was gorgeous. It was, like I said, a commemorative coin. It was very nice.
You also were the publicist for Larry Holmes.
Yes. And he wants me to work for him now. I worked for him for quite some time. I actually met him through Sal Mamby. Sal Mamby was my first client, and that's how I met Larry. But I did, and with Larry it was very interesting because it was a time that he left Don King, and he was doing his own promotions, first with Murad Muhammad, then with this guy out of Connecticut, Bob Andreoli, and then with this guy down in Dallas, Mike Idri, I believe was his name, but that fight never took off. He was supposed to fight Jerry Coetzee. And so with that, I learned a lot. Because I had to help with the entire promotion, even typing up contracts. When we were in Scranton, he bought this guy, Julien something or other, he was French. And I got the Ring Girls. I found a modeling school in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I got the Ring Girls. So I had to do an awful lot of work with those fights that Larry promoted himself.
Wow, so you were really involved. How did you like the boxing world?
I really did love it because I love sports. And I kind of just happened into boxing. I met this contender, Harold Weston, and that's how I met Mamby and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. They both were my first clients together. They split the $300 a month they paid me and would look for the other one for the $150. Then Mamby said, I'm tired of paying this money, and bought me a car. He felt the car, then he didn't have to pay anything. So we went up to Dick Gidron, and he got me a Mark IV Lincoln Continental. Oh, the things I've endured. But Mamby is my best friend. I love him. But yeah, they would look for the other one for the other $150. And then shortly after that, I started working for Larry because when Mamby lost to Leroy Haley, we were in Ohio and we went to eat. And Mamby said, you know, 3 hours ago, I was the best in the world at what I did. And it was so upsetting to me. I just couldn't let it go. I was in the restaurant crying. And so then these guys came that work with Larry, and they said, oh, Larry wanted to make sure you were all right, and got up to your room. I said, okay. And then he called me the next day and asked if I could come to Easton for a meeting. And then he said, I've just never seen that kind of loyalty that you displayed for Mamby. And so he said, can you travel? And I said that I could, and then I could write the press releases and everything. So that's how I started to work for him.
Now they're different, but so you have Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. How do you approach those two as a publicist, dealing with them? Because the personality is like dating.
Well, like I say, with Ali, it was mainly moving him from point B to point A. It wasn't a lot of conversation or anything. With Larry, he's very hands-on, bossing you around. So it went on from sun up to sundown. In Vegas, a few times, they even woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to do stuff. And he, you know, aside from the fact that, you know, he was an incredibly, you know, gifted athlete, he was, even with all that, you know, bravado and you better do this and you better do that stuff, he was kind of a funny person. Because once this one young lady, her name was Joyce, he gave her the concession to do the programs when we were in Vegas when he fought Marvis Frazier. And I had never liked this guy, same guy, Booker, out of LA. He said, you know, you need to go work in that press room because this is a big opportunity for you. There's people in there, in and out of there from all over the world. So tell Larry to put you in the press room, you know, once everybody gets here, because I went to training camp and helped with all that too. But, you know, with him, he was just always different. You got to do this, you got to do that. It was all very interesting. But I learned a lot working with Larry Holmes. I don't think I'd ever flown first class until I worked for Larry Holmes. I traveled everywhere. I learned boxing. I learned people. I have to truly say I did learn an awful lot working for Larry Holmes. And lately, you know, we've been traveling with him again because he and Michael Spinks and Jerry Cooney and Ray Mercer, they do a lot together. So lately, you know, I've kind of felt like I'm working for him again. But it was all interesting, but yes, they're very different. Like with Muhammad, it was like moving it from point A to point B. With Larry, he was in your face all the time. He was never not in your face. And what I was going to say about that press room, Joyce had the books, and then Larry got the book. He said all the help is in the book because my picture was in the book. We put all our own pictures in the book. He was like, huh? It was funny. Hey, we still sold those books.
That's what it's about. Get that money.
Yeah.
Were you with Larry at the time he made the comments about Rocky Marciano?
No. At that point, I had stopped working in boxing. When I went to the New York Post in 1984, I stopped doing the publicity.
Okay, because I figured that would be a PR nightmare.
Well, he was a PR nightmare. But he, like I said, Larry is Larry. You know, he's very hands-on with everything he does, with his businesses, everything. You have to kind of admire that about him. He was very hands-on.
What was the boxing scene like at that time? That was like the end of a golden era.
Yes, it was very exciting. And one thing working for Larry, like I said, I learned so much. I got to meet David Hasselhoff and Bruce Willis, and all these people came to his fights. One time Jane Kennedy called up because that's when she was doing the sports. Larry said, "You talk to her. I don't know what to say to some woman like that." And so I really got to know, to meet a lot of people, and it was a wonderful era. It truly was.